everybody. This is David Nevins for Citybiz List, and welcome to our program today. And today's guest, welcome, is Bob Rich of the Rich and Rich Group. Bob, welcome to our program.
Thank you very much, David. I appreciate it.
Sure. So, Bob, you are Bob Rich of the Rich and Rich Group. That must mean that at least there are two of you. You're one of them, I presume. So
I'm one of them.
Yeah. So tell our viewers about yourself, but tell our viewers also about the Rich and Rich Group. I know you are a very successful, growing real estate firm in Harford County, but you share more of the details than that, please.
Thank you. Yes, my wife Linda and I started Rich and Rich Group, and we have since been joined by our son. So there is now a third family member in there. We have two other realtors, another one who's about to start on our team, and an office administrator. We are located in Harford County, concentrating on Harford, Cecil, and Baltimore counties in residential real estate. And we've been Rich and Rich Group for 5 years. My wife has been a realtor for 15 years now, and I joined her about 5 years ago. We try and stay active. Linda is the president-elect of the Harford County Association of Realtors. And so this is our job. This is what we do. We sell real estate 24/7. Try to.
Yeah, well, I know certainly in this market that keeps you pretty busy, I would guess. Bob, I know you used a moment ago the term realtor. For our audience, maybe you could differentiate between some of the terminology that I think people intermingle back and forth. Real estate agent, realtor, real estate broker. And I know you feel it's important that there are important distinctions. So share some of your knowledge with us, and let's make it clear what Rich and Rich is and does.
Absolutely. The difference between a real estate agent and a realtor is a real estate agent can help you with a home. They can buy, sell, rent, things like that. But when you're a realtor, you have joined what is the largest trade association in the country, the National Association of Realtors. And you are bound by NARS, National Association of Realtors, their code of ethics. You have to be transparent, honest, and always uphold the client's best interests for all transactions. And so we are held to a higher standard as a realtor, and we do have the National Association and the Maryland Association, as well as the Hartford Association, to answer to if there is anything that's wrong or unethical. So we take that very, very seriously.
I think that's kind of an important distinction. I think both buyers and sellers, you can correct me if I'm wrong, would benefit from dealing with realtors who are held to a higher standard, and I guess you're suggesting are more professional in a sense in that regard.
I believe so. And it is it's an association that is important, that we do a lot of work within. We volunteer within the association to make sure that we're well known with other realtors because you never know where a transaction is going to come from and how smoothly it's going to go. And it always goes smoothly when you're dealing with a realtor.
So you've sold at least me on that distinction. Now talk up Rich and Rich. What's your forte? What's I always say what's your special sauce? Why should someone looking to buy a home or sell a home in Harford County or even elsewhere, why should they give Rich and Rich a call?
Well, we are full-time realtors, and that is a huge, huge distinction. The state of Maryland has over 42,000 realtors.
Wow.
Very few of them are actually full-time realtors. It allows us to be there for your needs. And in the market that we're in right now, you have to be ready to move quickly because houses sell in days rather than months like it normally is. We're in a housing crisis right now. And so our ability to be able to go out immediately to show a house, to give whatever assistance we need anytime, and our team members that we have allow for flexibility and to always be able to put the customer's needs first.
It's interesting, Bob, you used the term housing crisis now. I know, I guess if you are a seller, you don't really think it's much of a crisis today. This is a good time. So clearly it's a seller's market. Just talk to us about the market, some of the idiosyncrasies of the current market, and how it causes you to change your approach, perhaps, and then where do you think the market's headed? How long will this market be last the way it is?
There's a lot of questions in there. Is the market? It is a seller's market, and as you said, if you're a seller, it's a license to print money, pretty much, because we are in a very different housing market than we were in the early 2000s. So anybody who thinks that we're in that same type of housing bubble, that is incorrect. We are in an inventory crisis where for 5 or 6 years, inventory has been on the decline. And then when COVID happened, nobody wanted to move. Everybody just stayed put. And so what was already a tight market got even worse. And so trying to get out of this, the analogy I'm using these days is if we're short of oranges and aren't enough oranges around, you can start to plant trees, but it takes a long time for those trees to get to the point where they can produce oranges. We can't build houses any faster, at least not in our area. There's lack of materials, lack of labor. So it is a housing crunch that if you're thinking of selling, great time to sell. Please let us know. If you're thinking of buying, it is still a great time to buy because interest rates are still at amazingly low rates. And with the buying pool that is still waiting to get out there and buy, it's not going to stop anytime soon.
I think those are all important points. Bob, you mentioned that you and your wife, Linda, are full-time and that and also highly experienced, and you've both done this for quite a while. I would think in this kind of a market in particular, as you, my question is really in representing a buyer, that the more experienced the realtor one is able to deal with, you're likely to know the seller's realtor. You're likely to have some extra experience in negotiating in terms of what type of contract to put forth, and so on. So. Is that all true?
Yes, it is. To understand the market that we're in, I don't know how old the average age group is, but I remember when I was young, you would see a gas price and it would be sitting on the gas station for a month. They didn't change it every day like it happens today. And the real estate market is very similar. It used to be a house in a normal market is probably on the market for 60 days or so. Now houses are on the market for 5 days, 7 days. And the market is changing so rapidly that I'm adjusting, negotiating stances weekly because it started to loosen up a little bit a couple of months ago, but then all of a sudden the market has tightened up again. And so to be able to get deals done does require some finesse, knowing where we are this week in the market and working with other agents, and the fact that we've been very fortunate to do a pretty good volume, that we do run into agents, and it is much easier when you deal with an agent that you've already dealt with in the past. And we find that happens on a relatively regular basis.
I know I've recently had the experience, not locally, of attempting to buy a vacation home, and the person I was dealing with suggested that I put in an offer above the asking price, which is something that it's a mentality that I'm sure it exists in Hartford County where you are as well, but it is a little bit hard to swallow.
Statistically, Hartford County is selling at 103% of asking price. And and there are people who are doing guaranteed offers. And to give your audience an idea of some of the silliness that's out there, we had a house that was listed at $425,000, and we had a guaranteed $460,000 offer. So this person was willing to take $35,000 more out of their pocket above what the value of the house was because of the crisis that we're in. And so, yeah, it's challenging. Having the right realtor to explain the process and that's intimate with what's going on is crucial to being successful in any market.
I think your comments make that abundantly clear. And the thought that the going above the asking price is not an anomaly, as in the example I used, but that you're suggesting that the county right now is averaging all sales higher than the initial list price is really quite something.
It's a weird market, but I always say as a realtor, our job, we don't change the market. We just have to interpret it and make sure that our clients are savvy to what's going on in the market so that they can realize whatever goals they're trying to accomplish for their home buying, selling, et cetera.
Well, that's a good comment to kind of segue into, I think, what was more or less my last question to you, which is some advice for the would-be Hartford County home buyer. I mean, obviously, your first advice is they should give you or your wife, Linda, at Rich and Rich a call. And in this conversation, they've probably learned why. But just kind of walk us through what steps in the current market, in the home search, home buying strategy, would you suggest for folks?
Well, the way I describe a realtor, and I've made this statement often, is our job is to be the conductor of the sale. So everybody that's involved in your home buying process, our job is to make sure they're doing what they're supposed to do, when they're supposed to do it, per the terms of the contract. And that's really important. When you throw per the terms of the contract, it really gives it a lot of weight. And so that means the lender, the title company, the inspectors, everybody is doing what they're supposed to be doing. So obviously, I think that Rich and Rich Group of Long and Foster, because we're part of Long and Foster, is who you should call as a buyer or as a seller. But whomever you choose, you should choose a realtor to help you with your needs. I don't want a podiatrist doing brain surgery. I don't want, I want somebody who is really well versed in whatever their discipline is to be able to assist me and help me. So having that realtor to guide you through the whole process is hugely important. And equally as important is the money. You need to get involved with a lender, or if you're a cash buyer, please give us a call. But there's so many great things going on out there, but your realtor is going to be your point of contact. Here's my goofy analogy. I don't know who runs Bird's Eye Food, but I guess they probably don't know how to grow and can peas. But they pay a senior vice president a lot of money to be intimate in the growing and canning of peas. So we know how to grow and can peas when it comes to real estate. And if you don't know how to do that, fine. I probably don't know how to do whatever your job is very well either. We do know how to do real estate very well. And with us, you don't have to go to Google. You just have to call Linda or me, and we will get you the answers that you need and make sure we're there from start to finish and beyond.
Yeah, and I think that's an important maybe closing point that I've recently learned, that your job doesn't end. I mean, you'll tell me if you agree. your job doesn't end when the contract is signed, and your job doesn't necessarily end even at the closing table. That a good realtor, and I know people rave about the job that Rich and Rich does. You're the quarterback or the head coach of the whole. To keep using analogies of the whole operation. You'll guide someone to a lender if need be, and you oversee the inspection process and getting people to undertake the repairs that are needed. And I'll let you take the ball from here. I mean, is that true? And you view yourself as the conductor of the orchestra, I guess maybe is the best analogy I'll use.
It is. It is absolutely true. We're not a kind of somebody who drops you off at the curb. When we're under contract, that's finding the house. That's the fun stuff. Going under contract and getting through that 30-day process of offer accepted to owning a home, you do have inspections. We attend every inspection. If you're a new builder, dealing with a new builder, I go to every single meeting that you have, because a 3-hour meeting where you're picking tile for your bathroom is important, and I think you need proper representation. So yeah, we're there from start to finish in every process, and we get people who transfer from out of state. They don't know anything about the area. Please call us afterward. You want to know a good place to get a beer? I'll meet you there, and but it's Harford County, and it's a Cecil County, Baltimore County. I'm a transplant to Maryland. It's an amazing state, an amazing area to live in. And so to be able to help people with that, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, you sound incredibly knowledgeable and enthusiastic. So I would, again, urge any of our viewers who want to learn more about the real estate market in Harford County, or as Bob said, in Cecil County or Baltimore County or other areas in the state of Maryland. It seems like you have a pretty enthusiastic advocate in Bob Rich. I know his wife Linda is the same. So lastly, Bob, how does someone reach Rich and Rich? Where are you located, and how does someone get a hold of you?
Well, we are Rich and Rich Group of Long and Foster Real Estate, and that's the brokerage that we work for. You asked earlier about a brokerage, and all realtors have to hang their shingle under a brokerage. All of our business is done in our brokerage name. And I pulled out a card because I got to make sure that I do this compliant with all of the rules, because when in advertising, I have to say, you can reach out to me at 410-688-2140. The office number is 410-879-8080. And you can reach Bob at richandrichgroup.com or Linda at richandrichgroup.com. And we'd be thrilled to answer any questions we can for you about anything, any referrals that you have, anything, just let us know. We'd be thrilled to be your real estate resource.
Thank you very much, Bob. Thank you for your time today. It's been a great pleasure having this conversation.
Thank you, David, for me as well.
This has been David Nevins for Citybiz List. Thank you so much for joining us today.